Have you ever thought that $10 is too small to change your life? Most people do. They believe investing is only for the wealthy. They wait until they have hundreds, thousands, or even millions. But what if that belief is exactly what keeps them poor? Today's story is about a young girl who changed her future with just $10. Not 1,000, not 100, just 10. Her name was Emma. She was 22 years old. She worked at a small coffee shop. Every morning she woke up before sunrise. She served coffee, cleaned tables, smiled at customers, and returned home exhausted. Her weekly pay barely covered her rent, food, and transportation. Whenever people talked about investing, Emma laughed. "Investing is for rich people," she would say. "I can barely pay my bills." One rainy afternoon, an elderly customer noticed Emma counting the few dollars left in her wallet. He smiled gently. "Saving money?" Emma sighed. "I'm trying, but it's impossible." The old man asked, "How much do you have?" Emma looked embarrassed. $10. The man smiled. "Perfect." Emma laughed. "Perfect? That's nothing." The old man leaned forward. Every fortune in history started with a first dollar. Those words stayed in Emma's mind. That night she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about what the old man had said. Could $10 really be the beginning of something bigger? The next morning, Emma searched online for answers. She discovered something surprising. Investing wasn't only for millionaires. Ordinary people invested every single day. She spent hours learning about index funds, long-term investing, compound growth, and financial discipline. The more she learned, the more she realized one important truth. You don't need a fortune to begin. You only need the courage to start. That afternoon, Emma opened her very first investment account. Her heart was racing. Her hands trembled as she entered the amount, $10. She paused for a moment. Then she pressed the button. Investment successful. Nothing spectacular happened. No fireworks, no sudden riches, just a confirmation message on her screen. But something inside Emma had changed forever. She had stopped waiting. She had become an investor. Before going to bed that night, she made herself one simple promise. Every week, no matter what happened, she would invest another $10. She had no idea that this small promise would completely transform her future. Keeping the promise wasn't always easy. Some weeks her rent increased. Other weeks her motorcycle needed repairs. Sometimes unexpected bills appeared. Friends invited her to expensive dinners. Many times she wanted to skip investing. After all, what difference could $10 really make? But every time she doubted herself, she remembered the old man's words. Every fortune starts with the first dollar. So she stayed consistent, week after week, month after month, year after year. She ignored people chasing quick money. She ignored get-rich-quick schemes. She ignored risky investments promising overnight success. Instead, she trusted patience. She trusted discipline. She trusted time. Without realizing it, Emma was building more than an investment account. She was building a new identity. And that identity would soon change everything. Several years passed. One afternoon, Emma opened her investment account. She stared at the numbers. Something incredible had happened. Her investments had grown far beyond the money she had contributed. The returns were now earning returns of their own. This was compound growth, money making money, without Emma working extra hours. For the first time in her life, she understood why wealthy people invested. Time had become her greatest employee. Emma became hungry for knowledge. She read books about wealth, listened to financial podcasts, learned about businesses, assets, cash flow. She discovered that financial education was one of the greatest investments anyone could make. The more she learned, the smarter her decisions became. And soon, those smarter decisions began opening new opportunities. Emma's confidence grew. Her employer noticed her discipline and responsibility. She earned a promotion. Her income increased. But unlike many people, she didn't increase her spending. She increased her investing. Every pay raise meant another step toward financial freedom. Years later, Emma reached her first $10,000 invested. She smiled quietly. She didn't celebrate with luxury. She celebrated with peace of mind. Many of her friends were still waiting for the perfect time to invest. Others believed they needed thousands before starting. Emma knew better. The perfect time never comes. The perfect amount never exists. Starting is what matters. Little did she know, someone else was about to hear the same advice that changed her life. One day, Emma visited the coffee shop where she had once worked. She noticed a young waitress counting the few dollars in her wallet. Emma smiled. She walked over and asked, "How much do you have?" The young woman looked embarrassed. "About $10? Emma smiled warmly. "Perfect." The waitress laughed. "Perfect? That's nothing." Emma repeated the words that had changed her own life. Every fortune starts with the first dollar. The young woman smiled, unsure whether to believe her. Emma understood. Years earlier, she had reacted exactly the same way. The lesson was never about $10. It was about building the habit. Success doesn't begin when you have more money. Success begins when you decide to use what you already have. Small actions, repeated consistently, create extraordinary results. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to WealthCode Animation, and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories about money, success, and financial freedom. Remember, the best time to invest was years ago. The second best time is today.